All right, so what do you got? 4-hour work week. We finished the eye gaze thing. I actually started to do a video and I stared into the camera for like 10 seconds and it was weird. And then I started talking about what I was up to and didn't read from the book. So I'm making a separate video for 4-hour work week. Step 2, E is for elimination. So all that stuff we just talked about for the last week was D is for definition, right? So we're defining it and the rules to change the rules and a lot of good stuff. The total targeted monthly income, break it down to target daily income. All of a sudden things become more, achievable. Now we're moving on to the E. Remember it was DEAL, I think, deal. So we're on the E now, elimination. One does not accumulate but eliminate. It is not daily increase but daily decrease. The height of cultivation always runs to simplicity. Bruce Lee, there you go. There's a kick-ass motherfucker if there ever was one. You got guys like Steven Seagal, who talk about what a badass they are. And in reality, he's a big fat fuck like me who can't lift his leg up above his hip, right? Bruce Lee was the real deal. Bruce Lee and I think Jet Li, who came later, were both very skilled martial artists who happened to become actors, as opposed to actors who pretended to be martial artists like Jean-Claude Van Damme and Steven Seagal and a bunch of guys like that. He was the real deal. He was absolutely real deal. So his philosophy, which is a very Asian philosophy, you don't accumulate but eliminate. Get rid of shit you don't need. Try moving to another country. That will help you eliminate. And it's not daily increase, but daily decrease. What can you get rid of? What can you shed that you don't need? Including people who are negative and toxic, right? Add that to the list of things to shed. The height of cultivation always runs to simplicity. I also talked about Timmy going to Japan at an early age and the whole minimalist aesthetic, if you will. Grey Poupon, pardon me, do you have any Grey Poupon? The end of time management. Well, I think it's the beginning of time management, but he's once again putting his little Timmy spin on it. Illusions and Italians. There we go. Italy was where I was going to retire originally, so I'm down with some Italians. Perfection is not when there is no more to add, but no more to take away. Okay, yeah, he's really getting into the minimalist thing here. Antoine de Saint-Exupéry, E-X-U-P-E-R-Y, Exupéry, pioneer of international postal flight and author of Le Petit Prince, the Little Prince. And we all know what petite means. Thank you. It is vain to do with more what can be done with less. So any extra trappings you have, it's vanity. William of Ockham, 1300 to 1350 or 15 now, 13 that is, wow, holy shit, 1300s, originator of Ockham's razor. There you go. Just a few words on time management. Forget all about it. In the strictest sense, you shouldn't be trying to do more in each day, trying to fill every second with a work fidget of some type. It took me a long time to figure this out. I used to be very fond of results by volume approach. If you read any time management book, it's first about tracking time, right? Write down, make a schedule into 15-minute increments, and then take the important stuff you have to do and get that done up front, which we talked about with goal setting. Get stuff done right away, the important things, and get less important things like reading email and things like that, catching up with friends, social media, put that down toward the end. So if an emergency comes up and it doesn't get done, it's not the end of the world. You've still knocked out the stuff that's important, critical to your mission, your business, your goals up front. And what he's saying is forget the 15-minute chunks, forget, getting rid of empty spaces, create empty spaces. Because remember, we're looking at it now from this lifestyle design look where his claim, and I happen to agree with him, is when you do that, when you try to fill those blanks in that 15-minute increment, you try to fill in your day, you're putting in stuff that doesn't really need to be done. You're not evaluating, because your mindset and your mission is fill in the blanks, fill in the timeline, you're putting stuff in there that you probably don't need to be doing. And he's like, leave chunks of time, create chunks of time, get what's really critical to your mission done up front, and then you're done the rest of the day. No more chunks. Don't fill in with anything, because a lot of that shit that you've been filling in into those blanks is unnecessary. Don't do them at all. They just don't need to be done. And that's, you see the difference in the mindset and how you look at it. We talk about perspective, right? If your goal is to fill in every 15-minute time slot in your workday, you will. If your goal is to use as few of those slots as possible only for mission critical functions, you will. And that's a better goal, right? When you look at things this way that we're teaching. Cool stuff. Being busy is most often used as a guise for avoiding the few critically important but uncomfortable actions. There we go. He's drilling it down for us. The options are almost limitless for creating busyness. Yeah. Amen. You could call a few hundred unqualified sales leads, reorganize your Outlook contacts, walk across the office to request documents you don't really need, or fuss with your BlackBerry. 2007, remember? BlackBerries aren't a thing now, but they were the shit back in the day. Your BlackBerry for a few hours, fussing with it, when you should be prioritizing, getting the important shit done, the uncomfortable stuff, the stuff that leads to growth, the stuff that leads to your goals. Exactly. He broke it down. In fact, if you want to move up the ladder in most of corporate America, and assuming they don't really check what you're doing, let's be honest, because the boss is as lazy as you are, so he's not supervising you like he should. Just run around the office holding a cell phone to your head and carrying papers. Now, that is one busy employee. Give them a raise. Unfortunately for the new rich, this behavior won't get you out of the office or put you on an airplane to Brazil. Bad dog. Hit yourself with a newspaper and cut it out. That's awesome. I like the ladies. I got to admit, I like the ladies. I'm a, whatever, red-blooded American male. And I dig the ladies. When I was in kindergarten, the teacher, so I'm 57, so this goes back many years. They wouldn't dare do this now because of lawsuits, and some kid would get it on their cell phone and the teacher would get fired. The teacher would discipline us kids when we were bad with a rolled up newspaper, like hitting a dog. Kind of fucking demeaning, but that's how he kept order in the fucking rabid kindergarten when we were out of control by his definition. And he was a pretty big dude. We were little kindergartners, right, little kids. We didn't pose a threat to him, but the rolled up newspaper, that was his disciplinary tool, like a nun with a ruler smacking you on the hands. Public school we're talking to. And I had my eye on this little girl, right? She was my Dixie girl, even though I was in New Jersey, not in the South. I liked the song Dixie, right? That was like one of my favorite songs when I was 4 years old or 5 years old. I don't know why, but I heard it and I liked it. So I liked this little cute blonde girl with curly hair. Even at 4 years old, I was a fucking horn dog. So one day she did something he didn't like and he whapped her with the newspaper. Like, see, the little 4-year-old girl, what the fuck's wrong with you, psycho dude, right? Like I said, it wouldn't fly today. And I took offense to that because that was my Dixie girl, because I liked the song Dixie. And we were going to get in our Dixie car. I was 4 years old. Give me a fucking break. I was going to take my Dixie girl in our Dixie car and go to Dixieland. Oh, I wish I was in Dixie. Hooray, hooray. Right, that's the song if you never heard it. But anyway, that was what was going through my 4-year-old head is I'm going to take this blonde chick and bang the shit out of her in Dixieland in our Dixie house and drive down there in the Dixie car. So anyway, I took offense to him hitting my girlfriend at 4 years old, and I bit him. Dude was 6 foot and I was 4 years old, so I couldn't knock him out with one fucking punch like I did later in the Navy. So I ran up and grabbed him, wrapped my tongue like a fucking pit bull, and bit his leg. Got in trouble. Obviously you can't attack a teacher, but he pissed me off. He fucked with my girl. That's still true today. At 57, don't fuck with my girl. I'll do more than bite your leg, motherfucker. So anyway, yeah, there is that. We're a bad dog, hit you with a newspaper. Yeah, that's why I went off on the tangent. After all, there is a far better option, and it will do more than simply increase your results. It will multiply them. believe it or not, it is not only possible to accomplish more by doing less, it is mandatory. Enter the world of elimination. All right, so once again, he's looking at traditional things. Yeah, especially because I went off on the tangent. We're at 9 minutes, almost 10. So I'll end it there. But yeah, what he's introducing to you is a different way of looking at the same old stuff that you've been taught. And I remember last year when I was reading from the Napoleon Hill book, I talked about get a time management book, because everybody's only got a certain amount of time each day, and you want to be more efficient and use that time wisely. And then here I am agreeing with Timmy a year later saying, throw out those books, because they do teach you, to write it down, to become aware of your time. Like if you write down your diet, you become aware of what you're eating. If you write down your spending, you become aware, of your budget and of frivolous spending. By writing it down, it becomes clear to you, crystal clear. You can see it. So I actually recommended that last year. Like I said, it's been probably, 7 years, 8 years since I read this book. I think I read it pretty shortly after it came out, within a couple of years. And I'd forgotten that one of his things is, by filling up those slots, as I explained while I was reading the paragraph, you're actually doing yourself a disservice. You're adding unnecessary, unimportant tasks to your day. He's right. He's absolutely fucking right. So I am coming at things from a different perspective, being semi-retired in Thailand. So it's I'm loving life right now, and I don't have I don't block out my time. When I was working 14 hours a day in the office, it was mandatory to organize my time, because I only had so much of it and I had so much to do. Now, sitting here in Thailand, I have a different viewpoint. I don't have a calendar. I don't have a daily list of things to do. I have picked up a morning routine that I picked up from Tim. The bed is made, I pulled a muscle having sex with a 27-year-old, because I'm an old fart. But so I haven't been doing my push-ups. Just because I'm waiting for that to heal completely, because every time I think it's gone, it's like, reach for something like, oh fuck, it's still there, so until I heal from my my war wound, I'll get back at it as soon as that doesn't tweak anymore, until the ribs don't hurt and pulled muscle heals completely. So that's it for today. Once again, good stuff. A good way to manage your time is to be aware of it and write it down. A better way to manage your time is to eliminate crap you don't really need to free up your day to do what you want. And fuck, dude, if you want to sit and watch TV, and relax, make time for that if it's important to you. That's the point. Just don't get so busy thinking I got to look like I'm working or feel like I'm working to feel important or whatever. If you want to watch fucking Dancing with the Stars, watch Dancing with the Stars. I mean, whatever makes you happy, right? That's what we're talking about, is happiness. And although he did say excitement, and I'm not sure how exciting sitting and watching TV is, whatever. But you'll figure it out. There's enough information coming out in this book that you'll find out how all this stuff fits for you. But for me, yeah, it's happiness in Thailand has come from eliminating a plethora. There's your $10 word for today. Plethora, 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 a bounty of manyfold. A lot of tasks that I had on my plate in America are no longer important here. My life has definitely changed. So that's it for today. Y'all be good, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.